You ready? Thank you. So good evening, everybody. Very happy Monday to you, or Tuesday if you're in Australia. We have truly international call. I see some of our girls joining from Tasmania, so that's super cool. Just want to say very warm welcome to our next Fast Track to SC call. I am honored to be standing in for Lauren and for you guys to share this incredible next speaker that we actually saw at conference last weekend in England. And I saw her and I was like making notes on everything, and you know, I'm a big pen to paper girl. I take that from Jeff Roberti, our upline, and I always take notes for the team. And I remember coming on stage and I was like, I have to write her name down and message her. I have to find her now on Facebook, and now I have to get her on the Team Yoda call, because obviously we're such a large international team that I thought these guys got to hear this girl's story. So Lisa's going to be talking about, Lisa Hamilton is going to be talking about how to identify your tribe, finding your tribe, and she's going to share her story within that. Lisa has been involved with Juice Plus since 2013, and she went to NMD in 9 months, which is just amazing. She has 2 children. She's 35 now. You definitely don't look 35, by the way. And she is now doing, you do this full time, right?
I do, yeah.
Awesome. She does this full time. And she's just been saying how her husband, is he your husband?
Yes, he's my husband.
He's your husband. Her husband is booked a holiday because they can, right? On Thursday, they're going away on holiday. And she's like, no, I want to work. So I think what would be really amazing as well is if you could share, and because from my perception, I used to think, oh, when I get to NMD, I'm going to sit on my ass and do no work ever. So really, if you could share your perception of like that idea of, you know, when you get to NMD, what really happens, and really just how you found your tribe and stuff. But I'm really excited for everybody to hear your story, and I just could have listened to you all day on stage. So I'm so excited. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. And guys, again, if you've got questions, let's go ahead and let's just ask them as we go through, because we're only going to have these for half an hour. So take it away.
Okay, thanks guys. I'm so honored to be on your call tonight. So thank you all so much for having me. I've been in the business now since June 2013, and basically I joined the business because I absolutely fell in love with the product. I wasn't feeling so good on myself going back, say, 5 years ago. I started taking the Juice Plus capsules and Complete, and within a very short space of time, I started to see such a difference in myself. My mood being the big one. I'd been suffering really badly with postnatal depression, anxiety, and I got really excited because I'd been on a lot of medication and I still wasn't feeling this good. My husband got excited because he's seen such a difference in me. And, you know, I started to share it with people. I remember actually sitting on my holidays going back 4.5 years ago and texting everyone that I knew who was low in energy, who maybe had a condition, and telling them about this product that they really needed to try. And my upline is Mary Penrose, who I'm sure a lot of you know. Mary said to me at the time, you know, Lisa, you're really going to have to think about doing what I do. And I'll be really honest, at the time I thought, I'm not into that. Like, I'm not into that. What even was that? I didn't even understand it, and yet I was quick to judge. So I think I came back from my holidays, was getting on great in the product, and Mary actually passed by my friend's house one day where I was, and she basically jumped out of the car and came running at me. She'd just come from conference, the power of conference. And she was like, you got to join this business. And her excitement got me excited. And I think within about 20 minutes of standing in that garden, I was like, okay, what do I do? Tell me what I got to do. And she said, you got to go get 20 customers and you're going to get this bonus, because here in Europe, obviously, our bonuses are amazing. So I was like, okay, I'll see you later. I'm gone. I'm going to get it. And I remember just going out. Within 3 weeks, I got a STD. And within another 3 weeks, I'd had a qualifying business. Basically, back then you didn't reconfirm, but basically the same thing, I had done it. And in 90 days, I had gone SC. So you can imagine I was super excited about everything. I ate, slept, breathed Juice Plus. I'd say to the point where it actually affected my marriage at a point where I was just like, Juice Plus, Juice Plus, Juice Plus. So what I would say to anyone who is in the business, and maybe you find that you're not going as far as you want, or you're not moving as quickly as you want to wake up every day with huge excitement. I mean, if you're not feeling it, read some of your customer testimonials, read some stories about the business opportunity, and get flipping excited, because we have so much to be excited for. So I think that's what happened to me. I went to a conference in Nice in 2013, knew nothing about what a conference was going to be like. It's not your average conference. And I remember just one girl on stage changed everything for me. And I remember just sitting there do you know, I never really knew what a light bulb moment would feel like, but in that instant I had it. Like, I was always the country girl who left school at 16, who worked her way up through retail, but I had big dreams, and I had, you know, I imagined a better life, but I had no idea how I was going to have it, bar maybe winning the lottery. And I remember in this instant, right there in front of me, I just said, I felt it. I was like, this is it. This is it. This is everything that I have been looking for. It's right here in front of me. What am I going to do with it? So I remember we went home, we flew home, we got a bus, and we were getting on a bus back to Dublin, and I'll never forget it. I turned around to the girl behind me who joined the business the same week, and I said, I'm going to go back to the conference next year as an NMD. And she was like, yeah, great, me too. And I was like, no, I mean it. I'm doing it. And she's not in the business. I think she was gone about 4 months later. And I went NMD within 5 months. So huge excitement. Like I say, lived, breathed, ate, slept Juice Plus. It was all I thought about. So really going from there, you know, where, like I shared where my tribe came from. I don't even think I really thought too much about tribe for the first couple of years of my business. It's probably only in the past year that I've really started to think about that. And really, social media obviously has been a huge part of my business. 90% of my business, probably 95% of my business was built on social media. Most of my team are people that I never knew before, that I have connected with through either groups on social media or just through, you know, reaching out to people. So definitely you got to figure out who you are as a person, and that's probably something that I actually struggled with as well. Who am I? Because particularly sometimes when you become a mum, you don't even know who you are anymore. You're like, I'm a mum. What else am I? So what I'd say to you is, think about 3 things that you really have an interest in. And for me, I suppose I have a real interest in fashion, particularly my kids' fashion at the minute. Beauty, and you know, I'm definitely into healthy living and things like that as well. So I just sort of share all of that on social media. Instagram is something that I have started to work on a little bit more, and to be honest, I didn't really think that I was working my business on Instagram. I thought it was more about me and everything that I was about, and sharing my real interest. But what I realized in recent months is I was really starting to build my tribe through Instagram as well. So anyone that I meet on Instagram, I then move them over to my Facebook page where I can introduce them into my Facebook groups. We've got our business opportunity and obviously our customer testimonials where we can share the products in the business in there. But then also I really believe that, you know, you got to know who you are and got to know the people that you're looking for. So who are you and what type of people are you going to look or want to work with? So as much as attracting it through social media, I'm a big believer on the law of attraction as well. So I'd say probably for about the past year, I probably had a bit of a brick wall where I was finding it difficult to find the right people for my business. And I started to do more law of attraction. I started to visualize who these people were, you know. So I started to visualize mums, people who were very much like me. I mean, I'm not someone who's very well spoken or very well educated. I'm just a country girl who wanted more in life. And that's the type of people that I wanted to attract into my business, because I wanted to help those people to have more like I have had over the past 4.5 years. So I'd say probably in about this past 6 to 7 months, that has really started to happen for me again. Now I'm very lucky. I have a fantastic business. I've got 2 NMDs in my business. So I definitely had tribe there. But probably over the past few years, the people that I was bringing in maybe weren't necessarily my tribe. You know, I think at a point in our business, we do sometimes recruit. I don't even like the word. I prefer sponsor. We sponsor out of desperation, and that's something I never want to do anymore. I want people who really want this, and they want it for the right reasons. A lot of people want it just for money. I want people who have a real passion, and I'm not what I would call a network marketer. I am definitely 100% a mission driven by our mission as a company and what we're about. So I'm not someone that you're ever going to see over on another network or anything like that. Juice Plus is my home, and I want people who are passionate about our mission and passionate about being able to offer our kids a better way of living in every aspect of their life, and whether that be through their health, their nutrition, a way of living, mindset, absolutely everything. I think we bring it all in through our company and what we do. So yeah, I think you got to think about who you are, what you're putting on social media, what type of people you're trying to attract onto your page, and then also very much from a law of attraction angle as well. So I'm a big believer in gratitude. I get up every morning and I do my gratitude before I get out of bed. So I try to do something different every day. I mean, we've got so much to be grateful for, even in our worst days, we've had so much. Then I try to do affirmations and then visualize, the people that I'm going to attract into my business and where my business is going to be further down the line. But I love what you said there, Tasha, about, what happens when you go NMD. Because when I went to NMD, I got cocky. And what I would say is don't do that, because when you go NMD, that's when the real work starts. Getting there, definitely, it takes a lot of work and hard work and effort, but you got to maintain your business then, and you got to bring other people through. Otherwise, you're just being selfish and you've made it all about you. And any promotion that I've ever gone for in my business, I actually never knew I was going to hit it. It was always my upline that used to ring me up going, oh my God, you've done it. I was always concerned about, okay, I've got Mary, Sarah, Kerry, and whoever, and they're going for X, Y, and Z. I need to get them to their positions. Their goals were always my goals, and through making their goals mine, my goals happened anyway. So yeah, what I'd say when I got to NMD, I got a little bit comfortable, and I sort of took the foot off the pedal a little bit. I was helping my team very much, but I wasn't necessarily recruiting myself, and I wasn't putting on customers. And my business definitely took a bit of a dip. So because at the end of the day, we can teach people what to do, but people only do what you do. And lead by example is always the way to go. So every month I really aim to be on at least 1,001. I'm sure maybe it's different in every country, but here in Ireland and UK and Europe, we have 1,000 volume and one customer or one team member. So trying to do that every single month myself, and obviously then bringing people through as well, and leading by example. So when you get to NMD, yes, it is amazing. You're going to have a fantastic paycheck. The title's nice, but it's more about, okay, who else is on my team now, and who else wants to come through as an NMD or a SC or a QNMD or whatever position it may be, because it's never about you. It's always about other people in your business, and that's the only way you'll ever have growth, is you make it about other people. So yeah, I hope I've kind of answered and covered a lot of what you've said, but yeah, it's definitely a journey, that's for sure. I mean, I went to NMD very, very fast. We used to nearly joke and say, oh my God, what position am I going to wake up in tomorrow? Because after that conference, 2 months later, I went SSC. 2 months after that, I went QNMD. And a month, 30 days later, I went NMD. It was like, oh my God, is this actually, oh, thank you so much. Is this actually happening? And it was a bit crazy, to be honest. And was I learning? No. When you've got that sort of speed, it's a huge excitement. The learning comes afterwards. I always remember my upline challenging us one day and saying, sometimes you win and sometimes and it was grow. You grow. You don't lose, you grow. Because then we really had to knuckle down when our business started to, because it did fall. And we had to really knuckle down. And probably the hardest part of that was, for me, the journey that I had to go on personally and the personal development, because we needed to learn, obviously, how to fix things. We knew how we did it before, and we knew how we could do it again. But your confidence takes a real dip at that point as well. So I really had to build myself up and help build everyone else that had fallen with me. And that was the biggest challenge for me, and probably is always the biggest challenge in our business. Is I think at some point we all go through that, where we have that struggle. But that struggle comes, and it's part of your journey. So embrace it. And it's there so that you can obviously help your team at another point, because everyone's going to go through it at some point. Oh, thank you so much. But yeah, it definitely is one hell of a journey. It's definitely a roller coaster. You're going to go highs, you're going to have lows, and embrace it all, because it's all good. And from growth, what does this say? And if you're not growing, you're dying. And you definitely will grow in this business if you embrace it. And if you don't, well, then it's not really going to happen for you.
I love that. Oh my gosh, you just give me so many nuggets. I wish I had a pen and paper in my hand right now while I stand in Shoreditch. I'm like, seriously? And you know what? One thing as well that I will pick up on is that, okay, so oh my God, there's so many things I could pick up on. One of them is that conference fire. Like, obviously, we just got back from conference. And I have to completely agree with you. What you said as well is like getting off conference, that made me laugh so much when you said that Mary like grabbed you and ran out of conference. I was like, oh my gosh. And I have to say as well, like for me, I've never really played Fallout at a conference before, like never really. Like I just kind of sat there, and like I've been in the business a couple of years, and I just kind of sat there and just was like, yeah, whatever. Like I just didn't care, and I had this massive "I'm too cool" syndrome, which Lauren will say she had for 17 years because she said no for 17 years.
I remember that.
Right. So for me, I actually played out this year at conference when we went to Birmingham, and this year when we went to Liverpool. I really played out. I got up and I did Zumba, and I was like, yes, in the crowd, and I really played out. And I know exactly what you mean when you say that conference fire. Like, come away from conference, even if, guys, you didn't go to conference, whether it was England last week, whether it was Indiana, or you've got, the Italian one is coming up in November. Even if you don't go, if you don't go and you're Italian right now and you're watching this, or you're in Europe, then you need to go to conference. And if you didn't go to the England one or whatever, then you have to ride that momentum wave that everybody else has, because everybody else is popping right now, So you got to like ride that. Just because you didn't go, like someone you knew went, right? So you have to ride on that. And I think that's so funny, that story you said with Mary, because I actually feel like some of me and my team have been like that. We've come back and we've been like, I have to go and tell that person how good conference was. And I know there's so many of them, right?
My first conference was in Nice, actually, and I had 5 team members at the time.
Wow.
I had 5 team members going, but when I came back a week later, my team had tripled. It had actually gone to 17 team members within a week, and I went with 1 team member. So my excitement coming back meant we actually threw an event 3 days after conference, and we did a huge recruitment event. We had about 60 people in the room in a really small town, and like I said, went from 5 to 17 within that week because of my excitement. Everyone else got excited and jumped on it as well. So yeah, but you got to grab it there and then. You can't go, yeah, maybe we'll do it next month, or maybe we'll do it next week. No, get it in the diary. No. Do it now. Don't wait, because it's like motivation. Like, you gotta keep giving that to yourself all the time, and conference is no better time to get it. So go do events.
I love that. That's so banging. You just give me so many ideas, and I'm like sat here looking at my team like, because we got back from conference, and I'm super blessed. We've had 9 people in our team, like just in my direct downline, and I'm just like, I don't know what's happening, and half of them are like, I don't know what's going on, I don't know how I'm doing this, and I'm like, you know why? It's because you've got that vision, right? You've got that purpose, and you know who you want to help. You want to help people like you, right? So it's that whole, what I really felt about conference this time was they really didn't shy away from the fact that you got to do hard work. If you want to do this, you got to do hard work. Like, that's it. You got to be willing to put in that work, and you got to be willing to go out there and find people like you. And I think really that's why with you, I really wanted to ask you with your tribe how you've grown that and what it was that you looked out for. So I really admire the fact as well how you said, you've just been really honest about how your business dipped, and then obviously you were like, right, and you took the steps and you kind of went, you know what, I have to build my business back up, right? Callie just asked a question. How do you build your business on social media? And that's actually a great question. Is social media is that where you get most of your business, or is it something where is it mainly social media?
Mainly social media. Mainly Facebook is what I use. So basically we try to have like a DMO every day, and my DMO is gratitude first thing in the morning. Wake up. I always say to my team, open your shop. Your Facebook is your shop window. If you don't post on Facebook first thing in the morning, your shop is closed. So get up and open. And no matter if you don't do anything for a couple of hours, that's fine. If you got to go to work or you got to deal with the kids, that's fine. But open your shop in the window in the morning. Then we do, like, I'm not sure if you know MFAs. I think the girls had brought them back from Vegas last year. So massive freaking action. So I try to do like 3 MFAs a day where you connect with people, just random people. Add 10 to 20 people on my Facebook every day. And obviously try to, through your MFAs and your follow-ups, you're going to try and speak to at least 3 people about the product and a few people about the business as well. Social media posts, I try to do 3 a day. Not always about Juice Plus. I try to mix it up very much about, I suppose, where I'm putting out there who I am. So lifestyle, it could be anything really. Interaction posts are great. I try to use them every now and again. And obviously then sharing, my lifestyle with the product and maybe results on the product and things like that. Let me think, what else is my social media? And then I do a lot of live events as well. So I have a bit of a system in place for my team. We do a lot of live launches. If we have a new team, we would so basically when I get off this call, I've got a new team member, and one of my first steps with her is to organize a live launch. So that's where I will go live into an event page, and she invites people into it. And it's a really good way, I feel, to start people in the business, because they got to get out of their comfort zone and they got to go and invite. So I've had some great successes with that in recent times. Girls getting like 300 people on and things like that. It's been amazing. But yeah, so live, also doing a lot of live videos, I think is really important as well, because people actually get to have a real feel of who you are. If you're complete, you know, just the way we just add a lot of people, so they get to kind of hear your accent, for instance, and get to know you a little bit more. And I also use a lot of voice notes. I use voice notes enough because I'm a mum and I generally always have one hand, so I could be changing and not being voice noting.
Love that. I just want to pick up for me personally on that question. Number one, well, thank you so much for sharing your DMO. I think it's just, you're just showing exactly how simple it is and how as a mum you fit this in with your life, right? And I know we have loads of mums watching this. But another thing is, so with your launch call, because I've been doing my launch calls on Zoom, and would you say it's better to do, because I've considered that, doing it in Facebook, doing it as a Facebook event, private group, kind of like private event, and they invite all their friends, and then like I go live and then I invite them to go live and they share their story. Would you say that's a better way to do it?
I think so, because what puts people off about Zoom is they got to go and download an app. And unless they're really, really interested, they're not going to download it. They're going to be like, oh, I can't download it. It takes too much time. I couldn't get it. Whereas with the live event, it's so much easier. They just got to click in.
Yeah. Katie, are you listening to that? One of my girls, we did a call we did a launch call and none of her friends showed up. But what was amazing was we had 12 of my team show up. So in fact, like maybe none of her prospects came up, but what was amazing was the whole team jumped on. Like none of us have met her. She's on Facebook. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, oh my God, I was like, I love you guys. Look what you're doing. And so I'm really glad actually that you said that about the launch calls, because I do agree 100% a launch call, the way that you word that, the way that you say, oh, it's a launch call, like I think is a great way to word it with people. So that's such good advice. So thank you.
One of my girls really just sort of blew it out of the water there a few months ago. She was new. I told her to go and invite people, and what she did was I woke up one morning and she was like, Lisa, why can I not get any more than 328 people in this event? And I was like, oh my God, please tell me that you haven't just hit invite. And she was like, no. I sat up for 4 hours last night and I personally invited them. But what she did was she started with A, so like all her friends beginning with A, and she worked the whole way down and she only got as far as M, and then they wouldn't let her add anymore. So I think she had like over 400 people try to add into the group. She said she woke up to like 200 messages back from people that said they would listen, and obviously a lot of people didn't listen. I just done one just before this call, but yeah, so within I think about an hour there was about 70 people on the call, and within about an hour and a half there was like 300 people had listened. They'd seen it.
Wow.
So yeah, and we've been doing that now. She had really set the tone, so now I tell all my team, well, this is what she did, so game on, who's up for it, and see who's a bit of a challenge, see who can get the most people on the call live.
I love that. So she sends obviously an invite which says, come and listen to my launch call to every single one individually. Okay, that's great. We have a couple of questions. So one of them is, Callie, what did you say to invite them? So I imagine, is it like a template? Do you send the same thing out to everybody?
Yeah, pretty much. So just something along the lines of like, hey, Kelly, how are you? I'm not sure if you've seen or you've noticed, but I've recently started my own business online, and I'm having a little bit of a live launch on Tuesday at 9:30. My mentor is actually going to be doing a little bit of a talk on what it is we do, Sculpt Movement. I'd really appreciate your support. I'm really nervous, so kind of throw in there, I'm really nervous but so excited, but I'm afraid that people, sort of nearly want to make them feel like they gotta listen and really support you. So you're just really asking for support, and you'd really appreciate it. And then about an hour before the event, we drop them another message and say like, hey Kelly, how are you? Event's going live in 30 minutes. Look, I really appreciate your support. Thanks so much for supporting me on this. So
awesome.
Yeah, I've got my next girl just messaging me to say she's ready to go in 5 minutes. So
awesome. Okay, awesome. I can definitely say that launch calls are something that 100% work. So I love the way that you're doing them, and I'll definitely take inspiration from that. So I'm going to jump off the call now because I'm really aware that it's 12:30 and I really don't want to run into your time. I know you've got another call coming. If anyone has any other questions for Lisa that we didn't get to answer, I think my mum had one, so I can forward that to Lisa, and if that's okay, Lisa, we can have a conversation. and maybe we can talk about that, just because I really want to respect your time and I really don't want to go into your next time slot, because I understand how important it is. But thank you so much from my heart and to yours, from the whole of Team Yodo, from Lauren, like every single one of us. I can see everybody's liking notes, and that's what I love about this team. Everybody's so teachable. So thank you so much. I'm really grateful. And again, thank you on behalf of Lauren, and we'll get this recording on YouTube, guys, and I'll make sure you get a copy too, Lisa, okay?
Lovely, no problem. Thanks so much for having me.
Awesome.
Have a great evening and a great week, everyone. Thanks a million.
Thank you so much, guys.
Lisa. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks
Bye.
a million. Bye-bye.